Okay, so dito tayo. Kanina pa to sumisingit itong slide na to. Load line analysis ng isang fixed bias circuit. So as you can see here, on the left, this is a fixed bias transistor. And then here is the characteristic curve of this said transistor. So what's load line analysis? Kanina kasi kino-compute natin. Diba? Yung load line, we are actually using the graph to choose for the Q point. Pero yung computation kasi we are using a mathematical method to describe or to pinpoint the Q point. Okay? Now same dito, we're gonna do a KVL. So in this loop, sa base emitter, that would be dito tayo sa output. Here, collector emitter loop, that would be VCC minus ICRC minus VCE is equal to 0. Kung naalala niyo yung load line analysis sa diode, we are setting one variable to 0. So dalawa lang naman to di ba? Sa graph, VCA tsaka IC. Now, first, if we set IC is to 0, alam kasi natin IC 0, so dito ang IC, yung Y. Diba? And then, makukuha natin anong value ng VCE. So that will be VCC. So it will be somewhere here, kunyari. Now next, we can also set the other to 0. When we set VCE to 0, ano naman yung value ng IC? So if we make this 0, VCC is equal to ICRC. So therefore, IC is VCC over RC. So we can compute that kasi constant naman ito sa circuit, certain VCC tsaka certain RC. Now we're gonna get a value of IC. Kunyari ito. Now we have 2 points defined. If we connect this with a straight line, we now have what we call a load line. From this load line, we can now choose a Q point. Halimbawa, gusto ko dito siya mag-operate, meaning ang base current ko is 0 microamperes. Or pwede dito, kung IB natin is 10 or 20 or 30 and so on. Okay, so pwede nang piliin siya dito. Yun yung load line analysis natin. Pero yung pagkuha kung anong value ng, dito tayo kunyari dito, yung Q point natin, yung pagkuha anong value ng VCE ito, tapos anong value ito ng IC. So yan yung medyo mahirap kasi itang na natin, i-interpolate mo tong point na to kung anong value yan. So hindi siya ganun ka-exact. Graphical method yung load line analysis. Okay. Now, what if yung ating base current is varying? So, pag nagva-vary yung IB natin, nagva-vary din yung Q point natin. At 0 IB, so ito yung Q point. Kung tumaas yung IB, mag-change na naman yung ating IB. So ano yung drawback nito? Halimbawa, dito tayo nag-decide. Ito yung gusto kong Q point where IB is 20 microamperes. Now what if in actual circuit, yung IB natin is nagva-vary. Nagda-drop siya to 10 and then nagda-drop siya to 30. So kung ito yung maximum value natin, kunyari ganyan. Yan yung input natin. Pagka na-drop sa 10 yung IB natin, anong mangyayari? Di ba may makiklip na portion? Itong part na to. Kasi cut off na ito. So, in BJT circuits, when we desired a certain Q point, we see to it that that Q point doesn't change. So, kaya yung mga factor na nagde-define for Q point, tinatry natin to be as constant as possible. Para kung magkaroon man siya ng variation, konti lang, hindi makiklip yung ating signal. Pero malala kung yung Q point natin, 'di ba, yung IB natin nagre-reach dito, tas yung IB dito sa 0. So, talagang mag-e-expect tayo na may maki-clip sa ating signal. Meaning yung ating, circuit or yung operation ng ating circuit is highly unstable. So, what we are aiming is a stable Q point. If we design, Q point to be in this point, kaya nga Q point, 'di ba? Hindi Q line. Di ba? Q point meaning gusto natin nandito lang siya sa point na 'to. Hindi siya pumunta dun sa ibang point. So we employ yung measures naman to ensure that it will be as stable as possible. Okay, but right now I am showing you what are the effects of varying the different factors that may affect the Q point and what will be the effect on the signal. Yun yung mangyayari. Ito ang binago pa lang natin is IB, yung base current pa lang. Madami pang pwedeng magbago. What if ang nagbabago is yung resistor, collector resistor? 'Di ba ito yung na-solve na natin kanina, then this is the load line. So paano kung yung RC yung nagche-change? Hindi maganda yung resistor na ginamit natin dito. Kasi 'di ba sabi natin ang resistor, pagka umiinit nag-iiba din yung resistance. What if changing yung value niyan? So for a certain RC, ito siya. Paano pagka tumaas yung value ng RC? RC sub 1. Di bababa yung value ng IC. Paano kung tumaas pa lalo? Lalong bababa yung value ng collector current. So kanina, problem natin is varying yung IB. Paano pagka varying naman yung RC? Napansin nyo, kukuha na lang tayo ng mas medyo exaggerated. Kunyari, dito natin nilagay yung Q point. Ito yung desired and designed Q point. Yung RC nag-change from RC to RC1. Pansin nyo, nandito na yung Q point. Kaya nagbago pa ulit, nandito na yung Q point to, nasa saturation na. So ano yon? Hindi na mag-amplify, naka-turn on na lang yung transistor. So this is another effect of the factors that varies or that changes our Q point. Again, as much as possible, kung dito natin dinesign yung Q point, we want it to stay in that area. Kung magkakaroon man ng variation, we want that variation to be as small as possible. This is the effect of varying collector resistance. Now, what if yung voltage naman yung unstable, hindi regulated yung ating supply? So, ito yung VCC. Ito yung load line natin. Nagbago yung VCC. So, nag-move din yung load line. Nagbago ulit yung VCC. Nag-move ulit yung load line. Ito yung, kunyari, ito yung desired Q point natin. Napapansin nyo yung pagpalit ng Q point. Ayan siya. Itong nasa dilaw na to, Q sub 3 na pala ito. Masyado na siyang malapit sa saturation. We don't want that to happen. Again, the point here is where we design the Q point, we want it to stay in that point as much as possible. Kasi ang gusto natin is a stable Q point, a stable operation of a transistor. But the other point that I want to show you here is yung load line nagbabago talaga. And there are several factors that may change the load line and the Q point. One is IB, next is IC, and we also have the collector to emitter voltage. Now, if we can control this tatlong ito to be stable, now we can ensure that the Q will be also stable. IC is being changed through VCC and RC. VCE naman is being varied through VCC. Okay, so ito yung several factors na dinidiscuss kanina sa previous slides. Okay, I think doon sa pinakaunang slides. Okay, so at least now you understand what is the effect of the variation of the different factors to the Q point or to the operating point or the operation of our transistor. So in the next biases, I won't be discussing this again because it will be a exact repetition of this analogy. So dito ko na lang nilagay sa fixed bias being the simplest bias out of all the biases of BJT. So I hope you understand the load line analysis. Okay? So now let's proceed to an emitter stabilized circuit. This actually looks like a fixed bias circuit with an added emitter resistor. Itong nasa baba niya. It says here, emitter stabilized bias circuit. Why? The fixed bias circuit is actually very unstable. Now, the effect of this emitter stabilizing resistor is to stabilize the Q point or the operating point of the transistor. Now, how does it stabilize the Q point? Medyo malalim na yun, hindi na natin i-discuss dito. So let's focus on the how to compute the parameters needed in this bias. So again, first we consider the base emitter loop. So ito yung loop natin. That would be VCC minus IBRB minus VBE minus IERE. But remember, IE is equal to IC plus IB. And IC is beta IB. Tama? So this will be IE is beta plus 1 IB. Pag pinactor out natin yung IB. Ito na pala siya. So this will be, IE pala dito will be beta plus 1 IB. Yan siya. Okay. Now, to solve for IB, that will be VCC minus VBE over RB plus beta plus 1 RE. Again, from here, IB, masosolve na natin yung IC, that is beta IB. And then from the collector emitter loop, this is our current. Our KVL will be VCC minus ICRC minus VCE minus IERE equal to 0. Now, in this loop, we are talking about ang current na pinag-uusapan kasi natin dito is IC and IE. So, this is very much greater compared to IB. Ang pinag-uusapan natin dito is milliampere range, which is very much greater compared to microampere range. Ito kasi yung IB. So, here we can use the approximation method that IC is approximately equal to IE. So, as you can see here, IE is approximated as IC. So, therefore, the VCE here is VCC minus IC times RC plus RE. Okay, and all the other parameters or the unknowns will follow. Okay, so I have here an example of a problem for an emitter stabilized bias circuit. So we are being asked here to solve for IB, IC, VCE, VC, VE, VBC, given that beta is 50. As you can see here, VCC is 20 volts, RB is 430 kilo ohms, RC is 2 kilo ohms, and RE is 1 kilo ohm. You can also see in this circuit that there are capacitors. Remember that capacitors in DC analysis are always open. So, hindi natin sila kailangan. Open circuit yan, you can just omit that in the circuit. It won't have an effect in the DC analysis. Okay, so let's do this. For the base emitter loop, so it will be VCC minus IBRB minus VBE minus IERE is equal to 0. And then sabi natin, IE is equal to beta plus 1 IB. So this will be VCC minus IBRB minus VBE minus beta plus 1 IB RE is equal to 0. So solving for IB here is equal to VCC minus VBE over RB plus beta plus 1 RE. So we can solve this na. Given naman lahat, VCC is 20 volts minus 0.7 volts over RB na 430 kilo ohms plus beta plus 1. So that is 50 plus 1 times RA na 1 kilo ohm. This will give us an IB of ilan? 40.12 microamperes. Ito rin ba yung nakuha nyo sa calculator? So you can try this in your calculator. That is 20 minus 0.7 over 430 kilo ohms plus 50 plus 1 times 1 kilo ohms. So tama, this will give us a 40.12 microampere base current. From here, we can now solve for IC because that is simply beta IB, which is 50 times 40.12 microamperes. So IC is equal to 2.01 milliamperes. We have IB, we have IC. Now to solve for VCE naman, we're gonna look at the collector emitter loop. So that is VCC minus ICRC minus VCE minus IERE. Diba? Kaso ina-approximate natin, IC is approximately IE. So I'm gonna use IC na lang dito ha. ICRE is equal to 0. So solving for VCE, this is equal to VCC minus IC times RC plus RE. So this will be 20 volts minus 2.01 milliampere times RC na 2 kilo ohms plus 1 kilo ohm. So this will be 20 minus 2.1 times 3 kilo ohms. It will give us an answer of 13.98 volts yung VCE natin. Then the rest will follow. VC. VC is actually from collector. Kung ito yung voltmeter natin, that will be from collector to ground. So from examining the circuit, what we can see here is VCE tsaka VE. Tama? Oh, so yun pala yung VC natin. VCE tsaka VE. Diba? Kasi kung maalala nyo, pag double subscript, VCE is equal actually to VC minus VE. So from here, VC is VCE plus VE pagka transpose ko ito sa kabila. So ganun lang naman pala siya. Unahin na natin yung VE. VE is IERE, which is approximately IC. Tama? So this will be 2.01 milliamperes times 1 kilo ohm. So VE pala is 2.01 volts. Therefore, VC is equal to VCE plus VE. VCE plus VE. VCE natin 13.98, 2.01. So, madali na lang to. 13.98 volts plus 2.01 volts. VC is ilan? 15.99 volts. So, meron na tayong VC. So, VBC, paano naman yung VBC? VBC is VB minus VC. You already have VC, pero yung VB is actually VBE plus VE. Tama? Kasi ang VB nandito eh. Base to ground. So that is VBE tsaka VE. So VBC pala is actually VB minus VC, which yung VB natin is VBE plus VE minus VC. Tama? So ito pala siya. So this is 0.7 volts plus VE 2.01 volts minus VC na 15.99 volts. So this will be 0.71 minus 15.99. It will give us a negative 13.28 volts. So meron tayong VBC. So na-solve naman natin lahat, 'di ba? So ganun yung medyo madali na lang ang pagso-solve ng ating mga bias circuit. Lalo pagka lagi niyo siyang napapractice, any other bias na hindi kasama doon sa mga standard biases na makikita niyo sa libro, madali niyo na lang din siyang masosolve. Okay? So that is emitter stabilized bias.